Welcome to Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm Lisa Workman with the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Mary Philippi, Executive Director for United Ways of Ottertail and Wadena Counties.
Well, Mary, how did the family bingo go at the VFW?
Fantastic. We had so many children there that day. Janine Thompson, who volunteered to do face painting, I'm pretty sure her arm.
Oh, they were so cute. Two of the pictures I saw on Facebook
were
fantastic.
Yeah, so a big thank you to the VFW for partnering with United Way and our Women's Leadership Council to help raise funds for the Prescription for Reading program.
Which is fantastic. And of course, you brought a sample book, not from the Prescription for Reading, but tell us a little bit about the book you brought along.
Right, on September 26th, we, maybe you already know, we had an event on human trafficking in rural communities in our surrounding area. And from that, a couple of events have spawned or rippled out. On Tuesday, October 24th, there's a book discussion at Bethlehem Lutheran Church about this book, Renting Lacey, which is a story about some young girls who were trafficked. And then also on Thursday, October 26th from 11:30 to 12:30, give Bethlehem Lutheran Church a call if you want to find out more information. And then at OLV, there will be a human trafficking and exploitation in rural Minnesota session, just discussing a little bit more about, very similar to the event that we had on September 26th. So if you do need more information, you can also call Someplace Safe, and their number is 739-3486, and their extension is 774.
Well, it is a topic that I think a lot of folks should be made more aware of. I think there's a lot of folks that think, well, that's not happening in our area.
Not in my community.
Right, not here. So great information that you brought along for that. And well, we've got a great guest joining us on the show today. William Baity with William Baity Welding and Blacksmithing will be joining us. New member. He's been doing his craft for many years.
Excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so he'll be on the show in just a bit, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Park Region Telephone and Ottertail Telcom brings faster internet, better service, and more affordable options to your home, and we're the perfect choice for your business too. Our reliable internet meets your demands and your budget, and our phone packages deliver the options and calling features you need. Whether you're a small, home-based company or a huge internet retailer, our large fiber network with 24/7 support is the perfect solution. Connect your business to what matters. Call Park Region Telephone and Ottertail Telcom today.
Well, welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm joined with one of our newest chamber members, but a friend over the past few years. William Baity is here. He's with William Baity Welding and Blacksmithing. I got it in the right order. So, Will, welcome to the show. And you've been doing blacksmithing and welding for many years. Now you've got your mobile business where you come to wherever folks need. So tell us a little bit about how. Let's start with how it all got started. Back when you were what, 13?
Yeah, when I was 13, I wanted a weapon out of Sportsman's Guide. I wanted a katana because I like Ninja Turtles, and most people are not going to get their 13-year-old a sharp object like that. It was about $180, $150.
That's a lot of money.
And I couldn't afford it. We're just farmers and stuff. So that's $150. That's a rifle back then.
Sure.
That's not a sword. A rifle can get venison. So I started making wooden ones, and then I started just kind of looking at the idea of some metal ones. And my sister introduced me to a guy that worked at Arms and Armor in Minneapolis. They make all kinds of reenactor things. They're a big sponsor of the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. They have a huge booth there.
Oh, I imagine.
And he was a teenager himself, and he was in the polishing room where he just put the final grit on all the shields and stuff. He taught me how to make chainmail, and then he suggested a book list to my siblings, so they started giving me blacksmithing books.
Sure.
And then I read all the books, and then just started self-teaching at 13. And my brother helped my dad find a forge, got all that set up. And by 15, I already had chronic bronchitis.
Oh no.
Well, algebra homework or make a knife.
Yeah,
which one are you going to do?
You probably chose the latter of the two.
And just kind of really fell in love with it. And then I took a tour of Northland College in Thief River and decided to go into welding. This is 15. As the books,
had it all set.
Yeah, the books tell you if you want to be a blacksmith later, do machining or welding as a career, you can learn to build your own tools. The skills are kind of transferable. So that's what I did.
So you went to school for welding.
And then up until now, it's a huge part of what I do because not everybody needs a hand-forged knife. That's kind
No.
of
No, and a
rough
lot of
thing.
folks are probably thinking, well, yeah, where, who buys these, or where do you have a store, or, you know, like when you're making these tools, weapons, tell us a little bit about that side of the business.
Well, the way that started was I'd get on these, you know, every sci-fi movie from Predator to, think of another one, even the Avengers.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. Well, there's all these weapons and gadgets in there, and there's usually a comic book behind the movie now.
Sure.
Well, there's a whole bunch of fans for that genre, and they have fan forums, and there's Comic-Con. So they all make all these costumes and go to Comic-Con. So I got on some of these fan sites, got to know people. Oh, you need this made. Oh, you need that made. Well, then I would make one for them, and then I'd kind of put it on eBay when I was done,
Sure.
and sell a few more, just because people were interested. And
So
then
you
that-
have a very unique skill
Yeah.
that you're making, crafting custom items for people as they request it. So they've got, you know, they're more authentic.
Well, they'll take something out of a comic book, and they're such a fan, they have the concept art from it, from the original draft.
Oh,
and
wow.
they'll say, I like this from this, and I like that from that. Can you put these together like it was real life? And here I have one.
Cool. One of a
And
kind stuff.
It can take a couple of years to get all that drawn up and all the casting. And then, of course, for every one of those builds, I have to build tooling and things like that, custom for everything. So by the time you get done, you have a garage full of interesting tools,
Sure.
and you can do more and more things for people. And then that's kind of what led into some things. There's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan that wanted a Hungamunga. This was 2004, when that stuff was really popular. So I made him one. And then I made a template. I used to cut them out by hand. I'd sell maybe one every 3 years.
Sure.
Then it was unforged in fire as the secret weapon. And now everybody knows what a Hungamunga is.
Even I know what a hungamunga is.
You got to hold one.
I know. It was
So
cool.
when that episode aired, I put a bunch on eBay, and that was really well. And then there's been 2 or 3 weapons from the show that have just randomly appeared on the show that I've already made.
Sure.
And now I've kind of gotten a little bit of a following. People are starting to kind of collect the things. So it's a wonderful thing how that works.
Absolutely. And that's a big part of the blacksmithing side
Yep.
of the business. In addition to that, you've got customers who are local too. So
Yes.
you're doing mobile welding. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, tied in with the blacksmithing, I do handrails and things like that too. So if there's the funny curly cues and all the fancy twists and stuff, I can do that.
Sure.
And a lot of it, what I've done is restorations where I have to match something that was made 30 years ago.
Ah.
And the supplier doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So I have to take measurements and make it to fit the existing railing.
Yeah.
So that's the blacksmithing segueing into the welding work.
So
And
doing both,
yeah.
like, and you were saying you'll do the let's say it's a handrail or a wrought iron fence, you can do it start to finish. So you come in and someone's got a missing part or it's broken, the weld's broke, the concrete's, you know, it's lifted out of there, you can take care of it all.
And if rattle can or spray can is okay, but if possible, I'll remove it and take it to 59 finishing and have it powder coated. So then and then when I do a new install, I actually make a plate that goes in the ground out of stainless, and the railing bolts to that.
Ah.
So if the powder coat goes bad or goes wrong over the next 10 years, undo the bolts, go
Take it
have it
out.
sandblasted and repainted.
Wow. That's thinking ahead.
Well, it's really, I really feel sad because I go to some of these homes and the railing's so old it's actually put in with lead. That's the old way of doing it.
That's,
Put a
yeah.
piece of pipe
It's
in
been
the
there for a
concrete
while.
when you pour the concrete slab,
Yeah.
and then you'd stick your posts for your railing in and pour lead in to solidify them.
Huh. I
It's
didn't know that.
ingenious for the time period.
Yep.
but Little poisonous.
Yeah. Well, it's covered up.
Yeah, so now you have to, and they're so corroded and they've been painted 6 times and it shows on the piece.
Sure. So that's something that you're doing residential. With it being October, folks are pulling docks out of the year, and that pressure pulling those docks out can sometimes, well, those weak spots turn into places where it's not connected anymore.
Or something happens, the water's cold, you don't want to be in it, so you get it hooked up and you start pulling on it and you forgot one of the legs was down.
Yeah, because that I'm sure has never happened to anyone.
And then it bends and it snaps because aluminum's not really.
Yeah, and then, you know, you're thinking, what do I do? You know, I had somebody haul this thing in here 6 years ago or however long. Now what do I do when this is broken? A dock is not an easy thing, or a lift or canopy, those are not easy things to haul.
I've actually fixed them in the water.
In the water?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you gotta crawl out on the dock. Of course, there's no decking on it because
Right.
you got to get to the frame. That gets interesting. Or sometimes you put on waders and you stand next to it, and as long as the ground clamp is between you and the arc, you're okay.
Then you're, see, safe
If not, it will go through you to get there.
to get, yeah, you don't want that to happen. So yeah, so you can do dock repair, really anything that needs to be welded on the go. Tell us a little bit about some of the other customers that you've got other than, residential.
Trucking companies. I've fixed trailers in Home Depot parking lot. And sometimes they're aluminum, sometimes they're steel.
And you can do both.
Yeah, I can do both. And then for farmers, tillage. I've welded underneath combines. There's just about anything you can imagine that needs to be repaired. Some customers have it pulled out and waiting for me, ready to be put back together. And then some I have to go do the whole job. And then irrigation as well.
Sure.
It's nice when the hole is dug when I get there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you think about it too, with this being harvest season, the farmers, they've got every available hand behind the wheel driving combines and tractors and trucks and whatnot. They don't want any downtime. Will's the guy to call,
Yeah.
because you can come out and fix it.
I'm not saying farmers don't know how to weld. Most of them are welders.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them have a hand there that does weld. But if they're all busy driving a beet truck or a corn truck right now, that puts them
Right, less
there.
downtime.
And then I'm there so that while they're still hauling stuff to market, I can get
Get
it
it
patched
done.
up.
Well, so how do folks get in touch with you, Will, if they've got something that either they're thinking ahead about maybe a Christmas gift or birthday gift or something for someone who's got a fan of the Forged in Fire, or if they've got repairs, how do they get in touch with you?
I have a phone number, 218-205-5940. And then you can look up William Baity Welding and Blacksmithing on Facebook and YouTube.
And of course on the chamber website at
Yes.
fergusfalls.com too. So yeah, that's the other thing too. So you've got a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That's an interesting experience. I'm normally an introvert. My wife drugged me kicking and screaming out of my shell.
Thanks to
Things like
Susan.
that. Yes, thank you. Thanks to Susan, of course. But over the last 2 years, I've been slowly adding more and more content to a YouTube channel, and I finally have, I believe, 91 subscribers.
Fantastic.
And it's really interesting because if I'm building something for you, and you are wondering what I'm doing with your money,
You can watch
generally,
it.
at some point there's going to be an update on the project
Sure.
so that they can actually see what I'm doing.
Which is super cool because you get to see how it happens.
And then if they wonder how it was made, I've got a little bit of tutorial while I'm building things, just because I know there's a lot of young people. We were talking about that
Yeah.
on Wednesday. There's so many young people that like this stuff, and I was one of those young people once. And I had a few people to show me, but the community wasn't there like it is now. Now
Right.
there are blacksmiths everywhere. YouTube is huge. I wish I would have gotten in on it when it was first, it was brand new. Then
The opportunity is still there.
yes.
And there's lots of
And-
fans for that type of
Yeah,
stuff too.
and
So.
it's interesting because it's a way of doing something that is 4,000 years old at least. I can weld with a barbecue.
Right.
I can put steel together with a barbecue. That
Pretty-
comes in handy if you
Yeah.
have to.
Definitely. So is there anything else that we should make sure folks know about?
Well, I don't just do weaponry and repairs. I also do sculptures too. I have flowers, and
Yeah.
those are at Mimi Ray's.
You do some amazing things. So just down the block here at Mimi Ray's and Addie Gray's, you can pick up some of Will's great garden decor and sculptures and things like that too. So they're fantastic. Very talented.
And then I do foundry work too. I cast things, so brass and aluminum and copper, that kind of thing.
So really anything metal related, you're the guy.
I'll at least try it.
All right. Well, thanks, Will. We appreciate you joining the chamber and coming on the show today and share with folks a little bit about your skills and talents that you have right here in Fergus Falls.
It's been amazing.
Fantastic. We'll be back after a short break.
How does this work?
Just set your baseline goal resistance, interval durations, pulmonary range, caloric burn, and incline variance.
Tired of everything being so difficult?
How do I slow it down?
At Park Region Telephone and Ottertail Telecom, we make things easy.
Like our multi-room HD DVR. One button lets you easily record a single show or an entire series.
Build your own custom library to watch on any TV in your home. Park Region Telephone and Ottertail Telecom. It's all about you.
Well, welcome back to the show. Well, there's a lot of different activities going on in and around our community. Of course, we're gearing up for the Taste of Fergus Falls.
So excited!
I know. I'm just excited thinking about it. You know, we've been doing a lot of prep work in our office, and I know the restaurants and food exhibitors that will be there have been working diligently. They always come up with something creative.
How many this year?
We'll have 12 food exhibitors this year, and it's going to be fantastic. And I do want to give you a little heads up that our board of directors will be donating a Charles Beck print for our live auction. So we want to commemorate his works and honor him and his family in our community. And we thought that would be a really great idea to have at the live auction. So we are still looking for items for our silent auction, live auction donations. We are doing a wall of wine as we've done for many years, and this year we're doing a bunch of beer. So if folks have maybe a bottle of wine in their house that they're just not getting around to drinking, or maybe some craft beers that maybe weren't what they thought they were, whatever you'd like, just bring them on over to the chamber office. We'd be happy to accept any of those donations. Makes it a fun event. And everybody looks forward to, winning some prizes of some sort. So it's a great fundraiser for us. And you guys have some different events that are going on.
Well, speaking of fundraising,
yeah,
it's that time of the year. It's the fall, and that means it's the annual campaign.
It's kickoff.
I feel like we just talked about this.
Didn't we?
But it is our annual campaign. Our goal this year is $370,000. Last year we raised over $415,000. So it was a really great year for United Way, which means we have more funds to give to those programs who need and use that funding to provide great services to children and seniors, our veterans, people with disabilities, and just helping to lift people out of poverty. And so today we kick off our campaign over at Bethlehem Lutheran Church. Pastor Tom Peterson is on our board, so he's excited to host our campaign kickoff over there. And we will have over nearly 20 volunteers who are going out into the Fergus Falls community, visiting with businesses, bringing those famous orange packets. So please be nice to the volunteers, be as generous as you can, and please
help
to support our campaign.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and thanks to all those volunteers too who are helping out and going out and visiting so many. We have so many generous businesses and organizations in our community.
We do.
It does make our job a little bit easier when people are so generous.
And we really can't do our work without volunteers, because we have 4 people that work for United Way to cover 2 counties. So it can't be done without volunteers.
Yeah, and 2 really big counties too. So Otter Tail and Wadena counties are pretty darn big geographically. So we want to thank all the volunteers for both of our organizations for all the work that you're doing. And of course, after campaign, now there's another event as we think about November. Now I know when I think of orange, I immediately think of deer hunting weekend. But following the second weekend of deer hunting on November 10th, you've got an event coming.
Yeah, which is also, I think many communities are celebrating Veterans Day. So we're excited to have our United Ways of Minnesota Day of Caring on November 10th. And across the state of Minnesota, United Ways are celebrating that entire week, but we picked the 10th to be our day for Otter Tail and Wadena County. So you'll hear lots of information about how we can promote that, but just start thinking about how can we be kind to one another. This morning I was going through a drive-through coffee and I was thinking, I should pay for the person behind me. That'd just be a nice pay it forward and make their day. So those are just some examples of something you can do, just easy ways to just be kind to one another.
Definitely. Well, that should be a fun and really a heartwarming day too in our communities too. So, well, this has been Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm Lisa Workman. Mary Philippi joins me just about each and every week when she's not bounding about the counties. We will see you again next week on Find It in Fergus Falls.